Let this be your first awakening. From the moment you opened your eyes in this world, something ancient began stalking you. Not an enemy in the shadows. No, something more intimate, more patient. Death, quiet, relentless, watching, walking, always one step behind you, yet never making a sound. You were never alone, not for a second, and yet you forgot. Distracted by illusions, comfort, petty noise, you lost sight of the one truth that makes every other truth matter. You're dying. Every breath is a countdown. Every sunrise is a warning. Every heartbeat is a drumbeat to your end. You think you have time. You think your goals can wait. You think your greatness will magically emerge one day when you're ready. You are a fool. The average man walks like time is infinite. He sleeps through life with soft hands and weaker dreams. But you are not average. You are not meant to crawl through life waiting for the reaper to notice you. You are meant to rise like a storm and make him wait. You want to know why most men die hollow? Because they lived like they had tomorrow. Because they feared the silence where death speaks loudest. Because they mistook delay for discipline and comfort for purpose. But not you. Not anymore. You are now part of something darker, something older. A brotherhood not of men, but of warriors who live with death beside them and never blink. You are now among the shadow army, and in here, we don't run from death. We don't ignore it. We walk with it. Every step forward. Because when you carry death on your shoulder, every moment sharpens. Every task becomes sacred. Every breath becomes a weapon. Every second of your life becomes a battlefield you cannot afford to lose. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor we draw from, knew this intimately. He didn't fear the end. He trained for it. He reminded himself daily that the blade could fall at any time, not out of fear, not out of panic, but to sharpen his mind, his soul, and his decisions. He saw death not as an enemy, but as a tool, and so shall you. You will wear your mortality like armor. You will look into the abyss and smile. You will stand under the weight of it and move anyway. Because nothing wakes a man up faster than the realization that the clock doesn't pause for his fears. The world doesn't care if you're tired. Time doesn't wait for you to heal, to feel ready, to be confident. It keeps ticking, and every tick brings death one step closer. So what will you do? Will you waste today? Will you scroll through distractions like a worm hiding from responsibility? Will you silence the voice inside that begs you to move? Or will you rise? Will you finally act like a man who knows his life is on lease? Will you speak like this is your final sermon? Will you train, build, write, fight, love, speak, and dominate like the gods are watching, and death is applauding? Because here's the truth they won't teach you. The man who walks with death becomes untouchable. He no longer fears rejection, because he knows silence is worse. He no longer hesitates, because he's seen the grave up close. He no longer seeks validation, because legacy is louder than applause. Because here's what separates the immortal from the forgettable. Most men live as if they have options, but the awakened, the chosen, they live as if the walls are closing in, because they are. You don't rise with purpose by accident. You don't carve legacy with soft hands. You don't build empires by waiting for the right time. You burn for it. You suffer for it. You bleed time into stone and leave behind something that can't be erased. And death? It doesn't take that from you. It certifies it. You see, when your body turns to dust, only two things remain: your name and your impact. But if you lived safe, if you lived silent, if you lived soft, you leave nothing. You die like the rest. Another whisper in the wind. Another name that fades. Another man that never truly lived. That's why you must move like this is the only day that matters. Because it is. The calendar lies to you. The comfort lies to you. The false promise of later is the greatest scam ever sold. Later is the dream of men who have already accepted defeat. Later is a trapdoor that opens into regret. Later is how the grave fills with wasted potential. You must live like fire now. What you write, what you say, how you train, how you love, how you speak truth, how you show up. All of it must be drenched in finality. Speak like it's the last time they'll hear you. Work like this moment decides your fate. Look in the mirror like it's your final chance to become the monster you were born to be. Because the Reaper walks behind you, always. And he respects no man who waits. He only honors those who fought like their name deserved to echo. And let's be clear, death does not fear you, but it can respect you. It can arrive not as a predator, but as a witness to a man who moved with purpose, a man who struck like lightning, walked like thunder, and left behind echoes that carved into time. A man who didn't need warnings, signs, or permission, only the weight of the truth. I will die, so I will live like a god until then. That's what we are. That's what the Shadow Army is. We are not a tribe of comfort seekers. We are not a brotherhood of men waiting to be chosen. We are chosen because we act. Because we don't run from death. We weaponize it. We use it to ignite the war within. Every workout, every project, every interaction, every decision, every silence. You bring death with you, and you let its presence sharpen the blade of your intent. You do not flinch. You do not stall. You do not beg the clock to slow down. You meet it head on. And when your last breath comes, when that ancient force finally steps forward to claim what it's always followed, you won't be afraid. You won't cry. You'll smirk. Because you walked beside it your whole life, not in fear, but in discipline, not as a servant, but as a master of time. And in your final second, you'll speak the last words that echo through the void. I burned, I bled, I conquered, and I do not regret a single second. This is the path. This is the fire. This is the first doctrine of the Shadow Army. Memorize it. Burn it into your spine. Repeat it when the weakness creeps in. Recite it when you're tempted by softness. Engrave it in your breath when you rise every morning. Because this is not motivation. This is not inspiration. This is survival. This is war. And you are now a soldier of the eternal. Welcome to the Shadow Army. Lesson 1 is complete. The clock is ticking. Let's see what you do with it.